Hey, Mina.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good, good. Dan, you want to say hi to your PIC?
What up, Mina? What is
Hey,
PIC?
Dan.
Partner in crime. Don't you guys work together on a
We'll
show
find
called
out about that.
a little
see.
program called
Dan is
NFL
just-
Live?
Dan-
Thought you
Dan
guys
is
knew each
just-
other.
Dan is just slow this morning. I'm very disturbed. Like this silence, this uncomfortable silence for a few seconds. I mean, what the hell is going on here? You couldn't say hello to Mina quicker than that? You couldn't say good morning to me quicker than that? What's up with you, man?
Great.
Wake up.
I like
okay?
our little coast-to-coast shot right now,
Come on,
right?
man.
We got you
Man.
covered from LA and New
I'm
York.
just saying. I'm just saying.
What up, Mina? What up, Stephen A? Great to see you guys.
Better. That's how you
Thank
should
you.
have started. That's how you
Yeah.
should have started. All right? We're going to forgive you. Next week, you better come on better than that. That's all I'm letting you know.
Are
Don't
you
make
on
me get
Monday?
you.
I'm on
No.
Monday, yeah.
All right, we'll see.
I think he's gotten big time, Molly. I mean, I saw him with Booger on ABC doing
Yeah.
college football. Us did a hell of a job.
He's
Did you see
working
how Dan was
Saturdays,
dressed?
Mondays.
He upgraded his wardrobe. The black suit was looking fly. I mean, you should have seen. I haven't seen Dan Orlovsky look that crisp. And they get that, and then he comes over to ESPN, and it's slippage. It's just slippage. I mean, you better get it together. I'm just
You
telling
save
you
your
that
best
right
suits
now.
for ABC?
I
That's
feel like
the
I'm
deal?
right
a
now.
standard setter. I feel like I'm a
Oh,
standard setter.
okay, that's
trendsetter.
Standard
that's
setter.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a little aggressive. I'm not sure about that. Let's go to football.
What is the
We
standard?
get to a huge NFC showdown between the Niners and the Cowboys. Both teams looking to get back on track as the Niners look to get back to 500 after a disappointing performance in the Super Bowl rematch with the Chiefs last week. On the other end, the Cowboys coming off a bye week and look to shake off their ugly Week 6 performance against the Lions, where the offense put up only 9 points. Jerry Jones called out the offensive schemes earlier this week. And yesterday, this is what Mike McCarthy had to say in response to his DM.
I talk to Jerry all the time. You know, we've had time to go through the self-scout, so I can't really. I didn't see the comments specifically, so but I don't think we have bad concepts in bad place. But I'll go back and check. We're not where we want to be. I mean, that's clearly, and that ultimately is my responsibility, and I'm fully aware of that. But we are very diligent. We're on top of what we want to do.
All right, Mina, you're the new voice joining the party, so curious what you think. Your reaction just to this whole situation that's playing out publicly for the Cowboys.
Yeah, as far as Jerry criticizing the offense, my thoughts are the message is fine. The messenger and the medium are not. I have no problems with him as the owner, the head of the front office, criticizing this scheme. We've criticized the scheme all the time on NFL Live, and that is well within his rights. But I fail to see what's accomplished by doing so in public, what the point of it is. And also, by the way, if Mike McCarthy is the architect of this offense, Jerry Jones gave him the materials. And I think we all agree the materials, the roster, are just as big a part of the problem. So for him to come out and criticize it in public like that, at best, it's obtuse, which frankly is par for the course with Jerry Jones this season. It feels like 90% of the time now, when the Cowboys are being discussed, it's not the football, it's Jerry Jones giving quotes, whether it's him going after a reporter saying, oh, Derrick Henry didn't fit our scheme was the latest one, defending the weird tours. There's a great article in ESPN.com yesterday saying, well, negative attention is good for business. All of this, the circus around Dallas, it probably is good for business. He's a good businessman, but doesn't strike me as being very good for football. And if Jerry's going around pointing fingers, he needs to look in the mirror, because what we are seeing on the field, the unseriousness of this, is a reflection of him as much as anyone.
Go ahead, Dan.
Jerry Jones is on a rant of lack of accountability this whole season. There's no accountability with what he's put together. The Cowboys are where they are because of their 1 through 53 roster. The Cowboys are where they are because they didn't spend any money this offseason. The Cowboys are where they are because they got their 2 extensions done to both CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott so late that the $20 million that they saved, they weren't able to use in any capacity. And then he goes on these rants. He's given us 2 reasons why he couldn't sign Derrick Henry. Neither of them actually make sense or are true. Is, well, they couldn't afford him. Yes, you could have. You could have found a way if you got those deals done previously. And then 2, that he doesn't fit in your offense. If he doesn't fit in your offense, then my suggestion would be to change your offense. And there's no accountability to what he's put together when it comes to the football team and the contrast to the expectations, okay? I can't imagine what it's like to be Mike McCarthy. I don't know who the adult in the building is right now. I honestly don't. Could you imagine being Mike McCarthy, MK, and being like, all right, we got whooped 2 weeks ago. We've been whooped 3 times this season. Coming off the bye, big game against San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan's absolutely spectacular as a play caller and game planner. But I got to defend my football intelligence publicly now because my coach said that our schemes are bad. There's no leadership right now, it seems, in their organization.
That's fair. Can't refute that. Not going to try to. But we also have to acknowledge that Mike McCarthy brought that on himself. Mike McCarthy wanted Kellen Moore gone. Mike McCarthy wanted to call plays. Mike McCarthy swore that they were going to run the football more. See, you got to remember something, and this is where it gets egregious. And we're not absolving Jerry because ultimately, Mina, Dan, it comes down to him. You're the owner, the president, the GM. Damn it, there's no escape. There's nowhere to hide, okay? But where Mike McCarthy has to be held to the carpet, you swore you wanted to run the football more, which means you should have been the first one pushing for Derrick Henry. You should have been kicking down Jerry's door to make sure that happened. Because you said when y'all had a top 2 offense in the entire National Football League, not just when Kellen Moore was there, but ultimately when you departed, you swore up and down that you wanted to run the football more, that you wanted a more balanced offensive attack, and you did the second Kellen Moore was gone, all you did was more the same. And then you don't push for Derrick Henry? That's a big deal.
Do we really believe, though, that Mike McCarthy was like, no, I'm cool with Rico Dowdle. This is great. I love this. I like that because we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, right?
That's
There's
fair.
a tremendous asymmetry of power here between the coach and the owner/GM.
But I get that part, and I don't disagree with you. What I'm talking about is if you had enough influence to pull off them getting rid of Kellen Moore so you could call plays, how do you not have more influence to sit up there and get a running back for $6 to $8 million? Come on, Mina, that's not asking for a lot. Now, I might ask for a lot if you want a quarterback and it's going to cost him $60 million.
Yeah.
You know, it's asking for a lot if you got to want to receive it. It's going to cost you $136 million. It ain't asking for a lot. If you have enough influence where you could get control of the offense and get them to shove aside a dude who we speculated a couple of years ago could have been the next head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be either him or Dan Quinn. You don't go as a defensive coordinator to Washington. Maybe he'll stay there and be the head coach. We speculated about that is all I'm trying to say. But Mike McCarthy managed to get Kellen Moore out the door so he could call plays himself. How do you pull that off, but you can't get a running back like Derrick Henry for $6 to $8 million? You damn right I'm going to hold him accountable for that to some degree. He can't be innocent in all of that, Mina.
Dan, let me ask you this. Who do you think needs to win more on Sunday specifically? Is it the Niners or the Cowboys?
Oh, it's San Francisco 49ers. They got to survive right now. The 49ers have to find a way to get to the bye and hopefully get some people healthy. Brock Purdy's coming off of one of the worst games that he's played as a pro. He doesn't do that often. They got to get Greenlaw back, but they got to survive to make it worthy of Greenlaw getting back. They got to get CMC back, but they got to get or win to survive and get worthy of coming back. This is also like the window of this football team. This team's going to get more expensive. Like we've seen 2 really good seasons from this football team under Brock Purdy. NFC Championship game, Super Bowl. At some point, they're going to have to pay him. It's probably next season. They have to pay him a ton. Both their starting corners are free agents next season. The 49ers need this win to kind of survive and stay in the playoff race and not fall to 3-5 and try to get healthy. Because I'm not saying a Super Bowl window is closing, but we're getting very near the back end of this Super Bowl window for this 49ers football team.
I actually went with the Cowboys. I don't disagree with anything you said, and I think it would be a terrible look for San Francisco if they lose this game. But I tried to put myself in the mindset of, okay, if the Niners win this, they fall to 3-5, still a very winnable division.
Lose.
I have a lot more faith than in their ability to bounce back. We don't know what's going on with Christian McCaffrey, but there's no Christian McCaffrey in Dallas, right? There's no player who could potentially join this team and help resuscitate this offense. That team, to me, is dead on arrival if they continue losing games. That's why I went there, just because I don't think Dallas can bounce back if they continue losing.
I get you. I guess what I'm looking at is my expectations for the San Francisco 49ers. I'm looking at a guy in Kyle Shanahan that doesn't seem to know what he's doing when he doesn't have his running back. Okay? And I'm not accusing him of not knowing what he's doing because I understand how brilliant the man has been. at least in any other game but a Super Bowl. But the bottom line is when you look at how they're struggling right now, Brock Purdy had the worst, as far one of the worst performances of his career last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. He's running for his life half the time. He's scrambling all the damn time, okay? You just look at some of the things that have been transpiring with him holding on to the ball a little bit too long, looking for receivers to get open, all of this other stuff. Did you know this stat, Dan? I'm going to throw this out to you and Mina because I don't know if y'all know this. When trailing by 8 points or more at any point in the fourth quarter under Kyle Shanahan, including the playoffs, do you know what Kyle Shanahan's record is?
It's not great.
How about you, Dan? Do you know? Do you know?
It's not great. I can't imagine it happens often, though.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
0 and 40.
Oh, and what?
40.
What were the parameters again?
40.
Trailing.
The 49ers are now 0 and 40 when trailing by 8 points or more at any point in the fourth quarter under Kyle Shanahan.
I'm surprised he has 40 losses.
And 40.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to say to you is,
Not many games.
I'm gonna double check that stat for y'all. But I'm telling you, the man, when they are trailing, they don't necessarily come back. He is a front runner. You understand? When he's ahead, I don't mean that in a negative. I'm saying when he's ahead. What I mean by
They're
that is
ahead
that
in large part because
when
of
he's
him.
ahead, and they're largely ahead because of him. I'm not questioning that. I'm simply saying his offenses ain't the time that comes back and erase deficits. They give up leads, particularly in Super Bowls, double-digit leads. Let's not forget that. Offensive coordinator in Atlanta, twice in the Super Bowl against Kansas City. Double-digit leads evaporated with Kyle Shanahan as the coach. And when trailing, he doesn't come back often. He's going to get a lead. And that's not what San Francisco is doing this year. And they're having trouble.
So, hold on. I think, first of all, Kyle's one of the best coaches in football. And he has been for a long time.
I never say he wasn't. I never said he wasn't. No championship, though. No
I understand that. But I mean, again, the context of these conversations matter a little bit, Steve. He's lost to Patrick. He lost his quarterback in the NFC Championship game. He's lost to Patrick twice.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a little bit of, that being a reality.
Can I throw this to y'all? Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey with Brock Purdy as a quarterback with a big-time offensive line, not too shabby defense. It ain't like he's been having stuff, not like he's been devoid of having stuff to work with.
They went to the Super Bowl and barely lost to the greatest quarterback of our generation.
They've been to 4 conference championships and 2 Super Bowls in 5 years, which is excellent.
Yeah.
Is there a championship to show for it?
But,
one.
Well, but
Just one. Just one. I'm just asking.
But
do
Stephen A,
we care about closing? Do we care about closing?
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I just think
Right.
to Dan's point, the situations for a lot of those games does matter.
Hey, guys, nobody said the man can't coach. Nobody said that he wasn't a great coach. Nobody said that he was some scrub or something like that. We're certainly not talking about him in the same breath we're talking about Mike McCarthy. But at some point in time, I can't ask you to close.
But hold on, sir.
They've got a lot of injuries.
Are you saying the 49ers need to win more because of, Kyle Shanahan?
I think he's suggesting Kyle deserves some accountability for what we're seeing on the field right now.
That's all.
I get that, but he is very low on the list for me when I watch this San Francisco 49ers team. That's all
true.
I'll say.
Okay.
That's true.
Fair
But
enough.
it is his team. We know he's calling the shot.